any credibility at all.
What you're talking about, because I don't like
Joe
I don't
Biden.
listen to your shit.
It's not about listening to my.
Listen, see, and you can see the obfuscations, right? It's like, well, I don't listen to your bubble. I'm not listening to your news. I don't know everything about this. Like, and you can see these are just these constant minimizations of the fact that you are maliciously spreading propaganda.
How long will it take to get to the mountain?
And it's okay, like it's fine. I don't know why Adam can't just say, oh, really?
Okay.
Okay, well, he did 15 other bad things, so let's talk about those. Okay, fine. Let's talk about that. Why do you fixate on the one thing that's bullshit? That's the problem. And this is why, like, there have been things that Trump has done that I've disagreed with. I don't like Trump did X, Y, or Z thing. But the problem is that the people that criticize him completely destroy all of their credibility when they fixate and they latch on to lies. That's the problem. It is that, like, now nobody is going to take them seriously at all because they're fixating on a lie.
Shit, bro, it's reading the news. It's fact-checking. Bro, I got Snopes for you. They're not a conservative publication. Even Snopes was like, guys,
I don't know why you're shouting at me. I was just asking you to explain.
Because the issue we have...
And to be fair, Tim is, like, Tim is being too aggro here, and I think that he could communicate this point without being this aggressive, and it would make Adam look worse. Because 10% of people will watch this and think that Tim is wrong because of his demeanor. It's like all online conversations and debates are purely manipulation. That's just how it is.
And I apologize. I'm not trying to shout at you. I'm shouting in exasperation that we've had two liberals on in the past 2 weeks who didn't know this. And I'm just like, for love of all holy, I just, all I do all day is I read probably 500 news articles every single day from CNN, the New York Times, MSNBC, and all their aggregates. And then liberals come on and they believe things that were debunked 8 years ago.
I didn't say I believed it. I was just asking what you were talking about.
You didn't know this.
Yeah, I don't know everything.
He doesn't.
Thing that you know.
But this is.
But you did say you
fine people hoax.
I mean, I remember the line. Yeah,
Trump never called Nazis fine people.
He said there were very fine people on both sides.
Except the neo-Nazis and white.
He clearly, Adam was clearly
speed, cost, accuracy,
and obviously asserting that Trump said that there were neo-Nazis that were fine people. He clearly implied this. Adam is acting like a smug idiot. Well, you could have stopped there as Adam. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know everything that you know.
But this is...
I don't know everything that you know. This is, again, another appeal to triviality, trying to make him look ridiculous for pointing out this obvious lie.
What Biden launched his campaign on.
Yes.
Biden made a public announcement to launch his presidency in 2020 off of this lie. And you didn't know that.
There's the mountain.
4 years, 5 years later.
not yet.
Well, he did know that.
It's fine.
He did know it. Like, I mean, do you really think that this guy didn't know that? Adam isn't stupid.
Father, help!
Hang on.
He's not stupid. He knows this. He's just making it up. He's lying.
Stay calm. Almost there.
I don't know why you're getting on me about this, but
It's again, I apologize. I'm not trying to get on you. It's the exasperation largely with liberals.
I think the reason why Tim is exasperated is
so
very
bad.
justified,
Slow
even though I think
down.
it's a bad way to communicate
haste will
because it can
cost
make
us.
people think that you're unhinged. I think
Sorry.
that he's doing the same. I think Destiny does the same thing too. Destiny can sometimes commit. Destiny can sometimes make a really good point,
These aren't moving.
but he's communicating in a
Are they
way
dead?
that's aggro
I mean,
and it puts people
more
against
dead?
him. But I'm not. And also, like, I don't want to shit on Tim.
Not
I'm not
dead,
shitting on Tim.
not
I'm just
dead.
talking about this from like my third-party perspective. But anyway, that's fair. I'm trying to be fair.
Accuracy over speed.
I think Tim is really exasperated and frustrated because Adam is a very outspoken progressive voice. He's been on Joe Rogan, and he also embarrassed himself, in my opinion, on Joe Rogan as well. Adam is the one that, well, I'll go ahead and I'll pull this up with Joe Rogan.
child body, that's a choice.
choosing to add hormones to a child's body, that's a choice.
This is him defending kids being pregnant.
It's a choice it's a choice on the part of the parent. It's not a choice on the part of the child. So like, in the same way that being gay isn't a choice. Yeah.
Okay, but if that's who they are, if they think that they're a girl, why do you have to give them hormones to make them more of a girl?
Because I'm sorry. Can you expand on the question?
Take even more time.
It's a simple question. If
Does
you
not
say
matter.
that the child thinks it's a girl, so you're going to give the child
Show me
hormones.
control.
If the child thinks it's a girl, let it be a girl. Like, you don't have. Why are you adding hormones? If you're shooting hormones into a child, and you're
Yeah.
affecting the child's development, you're saying that's not a choice. That's nonsense. Of course, it's a choice. You're choosing to chemically change this child's body. You're choosing to inject
Yeah.
things into this child's body on a regular basis that are going to radically affect the physical development of their body.
Yeah.
And you're saying that this isn't a choice. Choosing
This is
Yeah.
marketplace.
So
The Giants
let's see
used
if
to
there's
gather
any
their
more of
trained
this.
gods a long time ago.
development of their body.
Yeah.
And you're saying that
This is the same one? Yeah, it might just be the same one. But anyway, this is the same guy. Okay, this is the exact same guy. So I think he needs to stop going up. I mean, honestly,
Bro,
it just
Donald
doesn't.
Trump-
It doesn't work very well for him. It's not helping him. It's not working, right? And so anyway, yeah, the dude's a loony. Yeah, it makes him look bad, and it clearly does. He's a sleazeball, cloudless cloud. Well, this isn't helping him. That's the problem, is that it's not helping him at all.
That is the effect of the speech. So you think that
Hold on, hold on.
whether you have free speech should be your words should be based
I'm
on the
trying
moral
to-
worldview of the argument.
So to understand
certain
your view of
arguments-
what free speech means, I'm asking you a question. If somebody says explicitly, you right now commit crime to that person, is that free speech?
If someone says you right now commit crime to that person, and what do they do it?
Yes.
I mean, I guess I'm not a free speech scholar, but like,
Do you hear that?
that is, yeah, there's probably be legal consequences for that free
It
speech.
is illegal to do that.
That is.
See, like, bro, you can see, right? All of these people are the exact same. They are all the exact same. The reason why they say, like, just give an answer. Dodge again, yes.
So my point is, upholding the law is marginally good. Sometimes the law is bad, and that's why it's not always. In this regard,
So what you're saying simply the fact that Marco Rubio exercised his legal authority to do something was good. It's like he had the legal authority to do it. He could have enforced this law as he saw it on anybody. He could have enforced it on a comedian, right? Who's in town and goes on stage and says, "Hey, you know what? I disagree with this or that." Or, "Hey, I just did shows in No, but I just did shows in the UK and Amsterdam, and I made fun of UK politics, made fun of American politics."
you can't make fun of Islam, though. Go to the UK and mock Islam, too.
Well,
Uh-oh.
Never thought I'd see one of those.
The thing is, there is a good answer to this, by the way. There is a good answer to this. Adam doesn't have that answer. But there it is. No, there isn't? Well, no, I think that
Still don't
there's a
understand why that
unspoken
man
rule in
attacked you at our
politics that you don't
I
make
told
fun
you,
of
boy,
cultures that you
I
don't
know nothing
understand.
more of it.
Like, for example, it's okay for people to go and make jokes about their own race or their own culture, but not make jokes about other races and other cultures. If I said that, and I think that's very fair. That would be very fair from the city. You wouldn't know that? Yeah. Who says we don't understand it? Well, sorry, not understand. Understand's a bad word. That you're not a part of it. So, for example, I make jokes all the time about how annoying upper middle class white liberals are. That would come off very differently if I was a different race. People would complain about me saying that all the time if I wasn't white.
Wait, you don't suppose Revan and travel in packs?
That's the
do you?
truth.
And there's a bunch of them waiting up there for us?
And
they're
they would
really
be
mad?
getting mad. No, you're gaslighting? No, I'm not. George Carlin said this 50 years ago.
don't
not?
have any jokes.
No, they wouldn't. What do you mean? Everybody got furious at Bruce for calling white people crackers. They got mad at Hassan for saying it, and they got mad
there.
for Frogan for saying it. But whenever I said I went to Cracker Barrel, and yeah, that sure is true, I didn't get people mad at me because I'm white. That's the truth.
I guess we need to get back up there.
well,
how?
my point is
Follow
that
me.
Adam has a good argument against this, but he doesn't know it. He doesn't know it, and that's it. And it's because he doesn't think like me. He's not thinking like I'm thinking. He's a fucking retard.
About Islam.
Why not? They got Pakistani grooming games for raping little girls. Why won't you go to the UK?
What?
Why won't you?
I like how he acts like, oh, wait, what? There's no way. Wait, what do you mean?
Go to the UK and make jokes about Islam.
I don't think it's very funny. I don't have any jokes about it. I'm so confused. Dude,
I don't think it's very funny.
Okay, let me help unconfuse you.
can
Are there jokes that can be made about Islam? Yes or
I'm
no?
not afraid,
wait, I don't want
Yes,
to.
sir.
You will stay out of it.
Bro.
Understand?
but I can fight.
You will
See, this
stay
is what I
out
was
of it,
saying,
boy.
is that, like, people like
Speak no more
Adam
of this.
can only exist in a safe space where only people like Adam exist.
That's the little chest.
They
got
cannot
something good to
exist
say.
in a free marketplace of ideas.
I don't want to go to
Are you
this
scared?
particular rabbit
Oh,
hole.
no. You're terrified. You're a
Of course
hypocrite.
he is. Yeah, he is.
What?
Are there jokes you can make?
He is. And I completely support Tim on this. 100%. Tim is completely right on this.
About Islam. Muhammad banged a little girl, right?
I'm really baffled.
Come on.
No, I'd like.
Yeah?
You're
I'd
terrified of the subject. I'm not.
No, I'm not.
In the UK, you can be jailed for making jokes about Islam or even bring up the grooming gangs.
So why wouldn't he just use that as an excuse? And say, oh, yeah, I'm not going to make a joke over there because it'd put me in jail. That would be a perfect excuse, and I would say, okay. Yeah, sure. He actually needs to stop going to these podcasts. He has to stop doing this. Like, just stop doing this to yourself. Why are you hitting
Change on
yourself?
both
Stop
sides,
hitting
maybe?
yourself.
There are people who go online and pointed out that a stabbing was carried out by a Muslim, and they got arrested for it. I'll bet you $1,000 you will not go to the UK and make a joke about any of that stuff. Because you will not go to a foreign country and, in violation of their laws, speak out against what they've said not to speak out against. Do it. I dare you. $10,000. Cash in your pocket if you go to the UK and make a joke about Muhammad having a 12-year-old wife.
This we got here faster than I thought we would in this conversation. Where you're shouting at me about something I don't understand. I don't really understand how you would think it's incumbent upon me.
Doesn't understand. So it's crazy how people say 9, 12, I don't know. What happened in the year, what was it, 400 or 1400, like AD? I don't know. Like, what are we doing here? And so, like, was it 16? Damn, I was fucking off on that. The 600? Yeah, okay, all right, that's 600. And anyway, fuck, I lost my train of thought because okay. Anyway, it's very obvious that the reason why he's not doing it, right? It's very, very obvious.
Do you think anybody watching this right now thinks you are confused by the notion?
Yeah, every time that a hypocrisy is brought up, he immediately acts like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. He's confused. So he simultaneously knows everything whenever he's talking about things that make him look smart, and he doesn't know anything whenever he's talking about things that make him look stupid. Isn't that convenient?
That in the UK you go to jail for mocking Islam?
I don't understand how we got onto you shouting at me about Islam specifically. I'd like to return to a
Okay,
point I
it's
was trying
because
to make.
you said people should be allowed to come to this country and speak
Yeah.
out against it. And you said you're a
think-
comedian, and
I
and you
think
go to
that-
other countries, right? And you said you go to the UK. And I said, okay, if you go to the UK, speak out in violation of their laws and see what happens. And you said, I'm confused, I don't understand. What don't you understand? Will you go to Turkey? Will you go to Turkey and speak out against Islam?
I mean, if I have a joke to make sure, I don't have a joke.
No, because you're not going to. Why not say that you're not a martyr and you don't want to go to jail for breaking the law? That's totally fair. Just fucking say. How can you be so fake and you have so many get out of jail free cards that are so obvious? Like, oh yeah, of course, yeah, let me just go somewhere and break the law and get in trouble to prove a point to you for $10,000. This is the dumbest premise ever. And you just
Atreus,
just
follow
own
me.
it. Like, holy fuck, like this is crazy.
About those particular topics.
You would.
I would.
You're saying if you had a joke about.
Oh yeah. Sure, I would try to do the best I can. I always try to poke the bear as much as I can. It's part of the job of a comedian, because
It's always convenient that you never poke the bear that can bite back, or the bear that is not politically acceptable to poke. That's the problem. It's always nice to make these statements like, oh, I like to poke the bear, but you're not poking the bear. You're poking a tree.
As it pertains to one of the world's largest religions. I mean, come on.
I mean, I haven't written a joke about that recently. Hey man, I'm a free speech guy.
Going on podcast, man. Just stop.
Look here. Another.
Yes, I mean,
Says his name is
just stop going on the shows, man.
a giant
Like,
warrior.
this isn't really,
Looks like he was in a pretty
you're
good
not
battle.
helping yourself out.
Odin's there,
I mean,
Thor, even the world serpent. Oh. Thor must have smashed
let
his
me
head
see if
off.
there's any more of these examples here.
Look, Hrungnir's body squished him.
Don't agree to things you don't want to hear.
Do you, Tim Pool, believe that as a moral issue, as a practical issue? Do you think that America
Boy.
should be a country in which every foreign national in the
I've seen
country
this language
should
before.
feel that they should never speak about American politics under pain of legal punishment?
No.
You don't think that that's.
Well,
you
that's
don't agree with
you
that?
you presented me an absolute. Right. You gave me the extreme end.
Okay, so Rumesa Öztürk, I think, is a really illustrative example because it was
Foreign
such a
nationals should
mild
understand
version.
that they've made an agreement upon entering this country that if they are in violation of the terms of their visa, it may be revoked. If they come here with the intent of advocating against U.S. foreign policy, that is a consequence. Speech has consequences. I think we're getting hung up on the issue that I've clearly answered, and I understand maybe you don't understand, but
Yeah, I agree with Tim about this. We don't need foreign agitators. Yep, we don't need it.
why won't you go to the UK?
Let's see if there's any more examples of this.
I think the issue is the saying has been for a long time that the left takes Trump literally but not seriously, and the right takes him seriously but not literally. So the question is, what does that mean? Like the question is, what's going to happen from Trump's directive? You can't tariff a movie. How? However, he can find ways to penalize offshoring of CGI or choosing to film Chicago, but in
Yeah,
Vancouver.
but he's not going to do that because he doesn't have a coherent policy about literally anything. Even tariffs, the
that
one
smell?
thing that he like, the regular tariffs, right? The one thing he really cares about, he's just fucking winging it, like saying random shit, doing math that doesn't make any sense, making deals, canceling deals, like just causing chaos because he has the
math
attention
didn't make
span of a
sense?
gnat. The
Wait, what?
reciprocal tariff
Behind me.
stuff where they like
they change
did
what
it
the others
based on the
have to keep
trade
them alive,
deficit and all
strip
that
off
shit.
their meat.
But it
All of
was
which is
on
apparently
the chart.
forgotten again.
This fight
chart
is mine
said-
alone.
You're gonna stump for the chart. You're gonna back up the chart.
Well, you're arguing they didn't argue a thing that was literally in the picture they showed.
Oh yeah. The math was very dumb.
The math they presented said including trade imbalance and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's
It said including trade imbalances and other types of structural disadvantages. That's what it said.
like they said, here's our
Yes.
and then someone did the math and they were like, he basically took
Yes.
existing tariffs and then added in the trade deficit.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go. And wow. And there it is. It should have just, what was this here? And it kept bringing up the non-monetary barriers. Yes, the non-monetary barriers. And that's it. And so let's go back. We'll look at like maybe one or two more of these. Then there's some other stuff
Boy.
that I want to look at. But yeah, anyway, Adam does look like a man. In my opinion, I think he looks like a fucking moron. Absolute fucking moron.
The claim about a threat to our national security is grossly overestimated. The claim that these people have adhered to Hamas is grossly overestimated. That being said, it is still completely legal in that an individual who comes here on a conditional visa not violate the conditions of that visa.
Sure.
So it's
It's
look,
legal.
don't do it.
But dude, I'm asking you, like, do you think it's good for America that, like, college students who are here on a student visa because of political speech are being thrown into vans and having legal things be done? Sure, narrowly.
Yes. Yes.
Wait here.
Yep.
I will handle this.
Because they're doing it in support of a terrorist organization. They're absolutely disrupting the school. And in a lot of cases, they're breaking the law. If these three things weren't happening, then the answer would not be yes. But usually they are, so the answer is yes.
Legal, but like, you know, they're
Being sent home.
she's being put in a prison, and then she's being like forcibly
Came
deported.
back.
Do you
W. Huge
They
W.
came
Do it
back.
again.
It is finished.
think that's good for America? Like,
Yes,
collect
absolutely.
yourself.
Get foreign
You must find a
agitators
way
out
out.
of our fucking country.
That's it.
You can't vote here. I don't want to have you protesting and breaking laws here either. Get the fuck out.
like this is okay. So you know,
Marginally.
Absolutely.
you think what do you
Go drop
think
the
is
chain.
good, even marginally? Like, what's
Okay.
the
ban free speech. I don't consider people that are not citizens to have the full rights of free speech. I don't think that the Constitution should apply to people who aren't citizens. Why not? Because I just don't think it should. That's why. It's the American Constitution. They're not Americans. It's simple.
Atreus, the chain.
Chain.
minor small benefit to America?
Do
And
not
we'll
come
weigh
to
that
our
ag-
country and rally against it and its interests. This-
So,
and
wait,
this-
so-
and I-
so-
and I
so-
apply this
sorry,
too
you-
to
so
any
you-
of these
So what is
communities.
the
Boy.
U.S. interest
Let it go.
that her
would've
writing an
killed you.
Suez
op-ed said-
Canal.
I know, I had to do
the
it.
Suez Canal?
I do know that, I just...
Let's see if there's any more of these.
And we will go home,
I think
boy.
this is the this is the other
To
one.
give
If there's
up
any
this
more of
easily.
these,
So close to the
okay, here we
start.
go.
Wait, no.
And
I'm
this
not
is
giving up. I
more
can
him
do
talking.
this. I just have to...
It's not simple because
Catch my breath.
non-Americans can be slaves under that
Come on
point
up.
of view.
I'm ready.
No, that's not true because owning a slave is also illegal. That's just like I understand that like you might think that that was like a clever gotcha, but it's not.
Listen to me.
You know, a deep down American
effective
value
in combat,
is our
a warrior
belief
must
in
not
hard
feel
work.
for his enemy.
We are
The
told
road
as
ahead is
children
long and
that if you
unforgiving.
just work hard
No
enough,
place
if you
for a
make the
boy.
right moves at the job,
must be a
you can
warrior.
improve your lot in life and be anything you want to be.
Yes.
But in recent years, a lot of us have started to realize that that is, simply put, a fucking lie. The machinery of social mobility has
The problem is that there is a degree of this that's true, but people like Adam, and this is the biggest problem with people like Adam, is that they have some ideals that I agree with, and this is why I'm the most critical of people like Adam, is that to a degree, what he's saying is true. But to a degree also, and I think a larger degree, what he is saying is not true.
broken down in America because more American workers are more productive than ever. But most of the gains in our economy for the last 40 years have gone only to those at the top. While
And this is why it's so disappointing to see people like Adam try to stump for giving children puberty blockers and supporting Hamas and what was the other one? Oh, right, like lying about like Trump saying things. Is that there are a number of things that he's saying like this that I agree with. But the problem is that this is what, like, you just destroy all credibility whenever you say something like the Earth is flat or like children should take puberty blockers. I don't know which one's
Wages for
dumber.
regular workers, the people working our asses
not
off
sure.
every single day, have not kept pace. You know, it can be hard to imagine making a better life for your family when the top 10% of households in this country hold 2/3 of the wealth. And that is
Surprised
why
it's not
so
more.
many of us feel that American value of hard work is bullshit, that we are just treading water no matter how hard we try.
So this is the type of stuff that people like this push, and it is like it's very disappointing. And you can see again that people like this do it. Let me see. Is this what it is?
I don't know what that means.
We'll watch one more, and then we're gonna move on. Let's see here.
Father,
Why is he changing topics?
actually
Wait,
those
which
trees on
topic?
the
What do you
other
mean?
side of the bridge.
He's literally Rich
The ones
saying
with the
that?
white
Well, of
trucks.
course he is.
Correction, it wasn't particularly over racial issues. I don't know what that means.
You love Trump so much, it's funny to pulling up his awards.
I don't
Oh, he's won so many racial awards.
I think it's weird that you think I love Trump.
I mean, you're here talking.
It's crazy how it's
Does she have a name?
crazy how dishonest these people are, isn't it?
Mine, so I never ask hers.
It's actually insane. It's almost like
yours?
a programming.
Better look at
Yeah, it's like the same dishonest bullshit. Yeah, it's
And about how great his
unbelievable.
approval numbers are. Like
That's a fact. That's a fact statement.
Your YouTube headlines are all
You're not
like
gonna
Trump
believe
is crushing.
me,
His
a fact
his
statement.
numbers are up.
Facts
His
you got.
well, you know, and the rest of the press is like his numbers are
was me
down.
what
I
And
never said his
Mater.
numbers were up.
Me and
I
my
literally
brother
just told you right now because of the
one of
tariffs,
our
his numbers have
best.
gone down.
dude, look,
So
I went on
Nobody
Piers
else
Morgan
go
and said
work on
Trump's
it
approval's
except us.
absolutely down. And I said, you don't got to look at corporate press. Take a look
gotta
at
handle her
Rasmussen.
special.
They love Trump and they
Or
have
she'll
Trump down
rip
4
me on
points.
let me ask you something.
I don't think you watch my show.
I can enhance
Oh,
it for
I
you
don't watch
right
it that
now if
much.
it so pleases
But
you,
I've looked
son
at
of a
like your
bitch.
YouTube headlines.
We
and
never
a lot of
said.
them
We
are
never
like,
said.
So what's
The correction. It wasn't.
Right, yeah, I read the headline, and that's what it said. Yeah, it's some high school teenager passive-aggressive stuff.
There's a
Well,
rune in the
has
shape
it ever
of a
occurred
fork
to you
under the
that maybe
grip.
that's part of the underlying reason why I think that we shouldn't let kids get on the internet? Has that ever occurred to you that maybe
That was
all
our
of
grant, my
is
brother
all
and
of
me,
this
before
coming
we
together?
split. I got half of it right
Because
here,
I
see?
understand this is the economy for that kind of stuff. Let me go back.
Look, you
I
want I
use the
should
bathroom,
upgrade
and
her
then
or
we'll look
not?
at it. We just spec them out some shit.
Very
Yeah, it's
well.
embarrassing.
I expect an improvement.
So, where's the other half of the brand?
All my dumb brothers got it. But I got all the talent. Look! What's it gonna be this time? Make you something? What'd you forget? Son? Shoot straight. You again? Well, don't look now, but our friends who were hiding in the trees are back for more. Go. Give that axe a twirl.
Got room for me behind there?
But you don't break nothing. See what my touch sprung?
Adequate.
You know what's adequate? That footwork. You stepping shit. Hey, your paw can kill. You gonna learn to do that too?
I'm not sure.
This road, it leads to the mountain.
Should put you in the right direction, sure. Want to see my wares again? Hope you got what you wanted. What can I get you, you little fart? What next? Best of luck with all the rampaging.
Come.
It was nice meeting you, Brock. I'll be thinking of a name for your beast.
How about I name her fucking Gratitude? Hey, fucking Gratitude, come over here. I like it.
You left me to fight alone.
I did.
People are one thing. Everything else you fight. Until I say stop or we are dead. Understand? Pull your weight or we go home.
I understand.
Good then.
Wait, we're back here again. I didn't even see this here.
In there. That place can bust you up real good.
I think we can go to Vista! That looks inviting.
Wait there. Atreus, follow me.
Sorry, I got distracted. It's coming back down again! Back down!
Now, boy.
How are you not tired? Wasn't sure we're gonna get out of there.
Trust I will not let us die.
Huh, we're back here.
This way.
Ooh, good find.
Ironheart, no wonder Marvel tried to bury this show. Ooh,
Never
man.
been this close to the mountain before.
Remember back in school when you had to do
Looks so
some
big.
class presentation, only when it got to the day and the other kids started doing theirs, you
Promise
realized
us,
you'd
yeah.
totally misunderstood the assignment and done something completely wrong, so your
Yeah.
only option was to hide at the back of the class and just hope against hope that the teacher would forget about you and let you off the hook.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically Ironheart for you, a TV show commissioned 5 years ago when the whole let's swap out beloved legacy characters for diverse
Right.
new alternatives craze was at its obnoxious peak in the MCU, based around a particularly unpopular comic book character from arguably the least successful era of Marvel Comics ever, who did nothing but ride the coattails of her far more popular male predecessor, only with none of his charm, likability, flaws, or character development. It was a show that was basically outdated and obsolete
that.
before it was even released,
What
lumbered
is
with a
Well,
main...
nobody even liked it to begin with, then.
Look. their
So
rooms
why
are
would
no
they
longer
go with
set.
something that
What does it
nobody even
say?
liked, even whenever it came out?
We two, we three.
character that nobody liked or
That's
wanted,
crazy.
and the fact that the past several years have been nothing but a slow-moving train
Maybe
wreck
there's a
for the
clue around
MCU gradually eroded the fan patience and goodwill that might have allowed a show like Ironheart to scrape by. Marvel knew this all too well, and they also knew there was no way to fix or avoid the problem, so
Yep.
they did what we all did in that school classroom
maybe those
decades
rooms should
earlier.
return
They
it.
went silent and tried to hide, doing their best to bury
Yep.
Ironheart and hope that people would eventually just forget about it and leave
This
them alone.
was one of the worst things that happened to me. This was in my last semester of college, and we were doing a group presentation, and well, obviously, you know, it was me doing the group presentation. I was soloing the entire thing because nobody did anything. And so, halfway through the presentation, while I'm explaining everything, the professor stops me. And sure, no, I'm being serious. I stood up the entire night. I did the entire presentation. The class was at 9 a.m. I was there early. I did the presentation. I went home and I went to bed. That's what happened. And so he stops me halfway through the presentation. And he says, okay, we've heard enough from you. I forgot their names. But like, can you explain this slide? And they're up there like, the circle and he he talked for like 10 seconds. I immediately was like, yeah. So anyway, let's get back into this, right? Should have called them out. Yeah, no, I did. I did call them out. I emailed the professor later on, and I was like, hey, listen, they didn't fucking do anything. And I absolutely did. Oh, it was a business. It was it was like a process analysis, like computer systems class. And so like you had to develop like a computer like system for like I forgot even what it fucking was, but it was basically like a programming chart for how something would work. And I snitched him out. I did, of course, because I had an 88 in the class, and I thought I deserved an A. Because I was like, well, what the fuck? Like, I did the entire project. They didn't do anything. Like, we got an 85 or a 90 on the project. And like, yeah,
family.
fuck that, dude. Like,
It's not a
again,
clue.
you might like
It's the
when I'm on it.
answer.
Like,
What
bro,
I
you
alone can
thought
never
you were
be.
on the team. I'm in a battle
Right?
royale. I'm there for me.
Use your knife
I'm
and
there
trace
for
the
me,
runes
that's
into
it.
the sand.
And so anyway, yeah, fuck them.
Cancel.
Absolutely fuck them. That's the way it is. And so get the
Something
grade.
happened.
Yeah, bro, I'll always try to come out ahead. Always, every time. And so anyway, yeah, fucking base for snitching. Exactly. It's so relatable from Tom Stein. Yeah, because they didn't do anything. Like, they didn't know how to use the chart. This is, so we had this Romanian professor. I'm kind of going off on a tangent. We had this Romanian professor.
behind us now.
And I remember we had seven questions in our final. And the class is like an hour, right? A little bit over an hour for the final. Each question is an entire page. Like it's like this, and then the page is like the amount of work
Boy.
you need to do. And some
These
girl
tracks.
asks, so how many of these do we
More
have to
maybe?
do? Like 2 or
Not
3?
sure. But I'll find.
This dude goes,
Go.
you can do partial
It
work
is
if you
important
want
for a
partial
warrior
credit.
to keep his skills
And
sharp.
he walks out of the room. That was it. Just straight up walks out of the fucking room. And like, bro, they were so stressed. They were upset, man. It was hilarious. I hate teachers. No, he was right. He was right about it. Yeah, I liked him a lot. So the point is that that's exactly what happened, right? 100%. Like I was in a situation. It's like, yeah, as soon as they had to start explaining shit, it was awful. a team. Yeah.
Own.
The bold strategy, Kyle. Pays off for him.
Well, it turns out you can only hide for so long when you've got hundreds of
They were
millions
trying
of
to
dollars
hide, bro.
invested and
I
a
tried,
contractual obligation
and I
to
tried to hide it. I did. I tried. I was like, okay, I'm gonna explain it. I told them. I said before the thing, just shut up and stand behind me. I'm gonna do the whole thing. You're gonna get credit, and we're gonna be done. Okay? That's it. And I was totally okay with this, but he wasn't.
At least it's sooner or later. So, over the past couple of days, the creaky old Marvel PR machine reluctantly rumbled into action once more, desperately trying to drum up some kind of enthusiasm around the show with barely a month to go before it releases. And today, we got the first official trailer. Are you ready? I'm not sure I am. No offense, man, but I'm not exactly sure that's a selling point.
We did it.
Well, I love how the implication is like a Black Panther, it's like a black people thing. Like, Jesus Christ, like how patronizing. Like, am I the only person that feels that way? Like, that seems so patronizing to me.
Man, she looks about as excited as I feel.
In less than 3 minutes, the air in this elevator will no longer be breathable.
Must have been taco night, I guess. It's okay though, Riri's got a highly technical solution.
Screw this.
Fuck. I heard Riri Williams was a genius.
Aye, it takes a real genius to force an elevator door open.
Riri, I see you. I see you're fed up, waiting to be acknowledged for your greatness.
Pull your tongue out of my arsehole, Gary. Dogs do that. You're not a dog, are you, Gary?
Oh,
I want to build something undeniable. Something
important.
iconic.
What, you mean like the thing that Tony Stark already built like 20 years earlier?
Yeah, you're gonna do the
gist
same
here
thing.
is that Hooded Justice, or what the fuck this guy's called, offers to give Riri the resources and money she needs to construct her new suit of armor on the condition that she helps him in return. I'm sure that won't have negative consequences.
Sure.
You've bitten off a hell of a lot more than you can chew. I could chew a lot.
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
And of course, no MCU production would be complete without the patented Marvel humor.
Would a shady bunker have that on the wall?
It's literally above a crate of self-guided missiles.
I'm returning those.
That's exactly the way that I feel. Yeah. That's just about it. Yep.
And if all of this isn't a sign of how little confidence they have in this thing, then check out these comments from the producers.
A lot of people think that she's a successor to the Iron Man legacy. But in the comic book, Riri and Tony had a friendship, and eventually she got her own identity.
The story of Ironheart is not a story about the mantle of Iron Man getting passed. If anything, it's the opposite.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Spot the recurring theme here? The one thing they keep desperately trying to hammer home is that Riri Williams isn't just some cheap, lazy DEI replacement for Tony Stark. No, sir.
Surely that won't be what audiences think. Surely the audiences won't just think that.
She's her own woman with her own personality, and definitely someone you should be excited to see on screen.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
Now, call me a crazy drunkard if you like, many people have, but Marvel might have avoided accusations like this if her entire character and backstory wasn't an insecure attempt to one-up Tony Stark in every possible way.
Of course.
Instead of a rich but deeply flawed playboy with a talent for engineering developed over decades of research who constructs an armored suit out of sheer necessity to help him escape from captivity, Riri is a genius teenage tech protege who probably taught herself how to build quantum megacomputers out of Play-Doh and old Nintendo consoles when she was still just a fetus. Because
Could the board be magical?
truly, if there's one thing the MCU needs more of, it's obnoxious teenage girls that are inexplicably amazing at technology.
Why didn't you just reprogram the synapses to work collectively?
Because we didn't think of it?
I'm sure you did your best.
Something else.
God damn, is that bitch on the rag or what?
Even Dominique Thorne, the actress playing Riri Williams, really wanted to cement the idea that this wasn't some lame attempt to exploit the legacy of Iron Man. In fact,
I mean, can we just say that if you have to go on a press tour to talk about how this movie isn't the same as another movie, that, I mean, like, I feel like that's pretty bad, right? I mean, if you need to do that.
here, too.
Yeah, who needs to do that? Why would you need to do that?
According to her Trust Me Bro source, Robert Downey Jr. himself even descended from the heavens to this mortal plane to give her his blessing. As if that counts for anything. He's a fucking actor, not the God Emperor of the MCU.
I think this is the dumbest thing, by the way, of having him play Doctor Doom. I think it is so stupid. You already have had a role in the universe. I think it's so weird, man. It's so dumb. It's a really bad idea. I don't get it, man. He was already Iron Man.
Anyway,
yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. and I spoke after we wrapped, and he shared some very lovely words about my journey.
That's nice.
Your journey? You've literally been in one movie at this point. A movie so forgettable that most people can't even remember you were in it. That's not a journey, that's a weekend staycation in Grimsby. He told me how excited he was and that he's rooting for it too. I literally
Well,
got
I mean, it's not gonna come. I mean, like, realistically, I'm sure he wants the movie to do well. I mean, yeah, of course he does. He's not like this evil guy. Like, duh. Like, sure, of course he does. This doesn't mean a whole lot, though, right? Does it?
Boy. Thumbs up. It's really reassuring to know that you're not embarrassing Iron Man. She also couldn't help adding that Riri is just so much better and smarter and more resourceful than Tony ever was, because of course she is. She's dumpster diving, whereas Tony Stark was this bajillionaire. What she's able to accomplish is remarkable.
Right.
Oh, really?
Tony Stark was.
Nope, I'm not doing it. I'm not replaying that same fucking clip that everyone's using to respond to this, but you do get the point here. Tony's wealth and resources counted for absolutely nothing when he was imprisoned in that cave in Afghanistan. In fact, I'd argue that he had even less resources to work with than Riri, because she had all the time in the world to design and refine her suit, whereas he was forced to cobble his together against the clock, with armed terrorists watching his every move. But hey, why let facts and reality get in the way when there's a narrative that needs spinning? Unfortunately, by waiting until the 11th hour to actually
this movie is going to be the next.
Hold, I said he's losing blood.
I've got a feeling.
The last of
like
his
it's
kind
going
in
to
all
be
the
the
realm will
next
shoot
one
him.
that
You
comes
needed
out
food?
that everybody hates. People are massively shitting on him. And it's a TV show.
So
Oh, sorry,
Keep
it's a
that pressure
TV
on.
show. Let me
Rain's
think.
mine.
Is there a
She's kept a
TV
close
show
eye.
that's been a
Will he
huge
die?
failure recently?
I will not let him.
Can I have? I forgot it
The
was a
arrow cut
TV
a
show.
tideway inside him. Find both ends and hold
I
them
mean, it's
tightly.
the same thing, really. Like Rings of Power. Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah.
with the left
This
side.
is Marvel's
Grab it
The
and hold.
Acolyte. I think there's a very good chance it's going to be Marvel's The
Now the
Acolyte.
right side. Hold it tight.
In it,
Good.
Marvel have
Now pull them
completely
together.
lost control of
Line
the
them up.
narrative around this show, and people can now see it for exactly what it is. A cheap, lazy, and pandering attempt to exploit the legacy and coolness of one of the MCU's most popular characters, born from the hubris of a different era when Marvel believed they could do no wrong, and reluctantly
just beyond
sharted out
Tuesday.
half a decade
You'll
later
carry him.
into a time when they seemingly can't do anything right.
No, they
a
can't.
show that even the creators
He
seem
must
embarrassed
not
and afraid
die.
to release, and if the trailer's anything to go by, they probably should be.
Good.
Anyway,
He seems stable
that's
and
all
calm
I've got
for now.
for today. Fucking go away now.
Great.
The funny thing about this too is that as soon as this happens, I think that more and more people are going to just like massively shit on this, and it will become like this is the problem with like media now. And it's like I can kind of feel bad for. Let me link you guys the video. It's a Critical Drinker video. Make sure to give it a like. I think he's great.
That bow's a
And
little
one
big
thing
for
I
you,
like
isn't
about
it?
his content is that
Mother
it's
made it for
short. And
I
do you
go
think a more flattering suit
I've
would
never
have
seen
helped?
you in these woods.
No,
She
I
must miss
actually I don't even think that this is a black female protagonist problem.
She's dead.
I think that
We're
if they
taking her
were
ashes to the high
using,
speak in the realms.
like maybe if they had
It was her
like
last
for
wish.
example, I don't know, like I forgot what his name was, the new Spider-Man guy. Like if they had him like kind of taking on Tony Stark's role after kind of what happened in Endgame.
here.
Then,
You live in a tree?
like, yeah, Tom Holland.
Not
Yeah,
in
if they
it.
had him taking on that
Below
role,
it.
I think it would be more popular,
Heavily.
definitely. But I still don't think it would be like massively popular because I just think that the story's been played out, right? it's just been played out, and people have seen it, and they're looking for something new, right? Miles Morales is better. Well, I don't know. I haven't paid attention to Spider-Man, right? But I'm just saying, like, that would be probably, and the reason why also is that, you know, the actors, and this is one of the big reasons too, is that like actors and actresses play a really big role in whether people are going to watch a movie or not. And so if you take an unknown actress comparatively, like with this woman here, and then you compare her with Tom Holland or Robert Downey Jr., you're really going to have a huge problem. Like, for example, you know, Chris Hemsworth was well known before of Thor. Robert Downey Jr. was well known before Iron Man.
Quickly.
You know, let's see, who else? And then also it had like Jeff Bridges in it. I mean, Samuel Jackson, I mean, okay, like, do I even need to begin? Scarlett Johansson was very well known.
Keep him
yeah,
still.
the new, like all of Doctor Strange. Yeah, exactly. Benedict Cumberbatch was well known. Chris Evans was well known. Mark Ruffalo was well known. Every single actor that came into the Marvel franchise as one of the Avengers was extremely well known. Right? I mean, they were not all A-list actors, but they were all either A-list or very close to it. And so, yeah, that's what I would say.
I need 2 more things.
And was Chris Evans, though? Chris Evans was... I think that he was probably maybe one of the riskiest picks, but he had already been, you know, he wasn't Mr. Fantastic. He was the living torch or whatever, the Human Torch, in the Fantastic Four, right? And so he had already been like a supporting character in a superhero movie beforehand, right? So it was a pretty safe decision for them to go with him because they had already seen him before. Rom-com actor, yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, so was Matthew McConaughey. But like the fact is that
I know
every actor in that cast was extremely fucking good.
The boy will want answers.
Right? They were extremely good actors, and they were all well known. And then you compare it to this girl who was in, you know, Black Panther 2: Wakanda Forever. And a lot of people apparently didn't really like that movie, or at least they thought it was a big downgrade from the first one. And so, yeah, you're gonna have a really bad time. And I think this is an element of it that isn't considered a whole lot. And it's kind of like a good example is like using like I think that something like, I mean, recasting is always bad, but it's especially bad whenever you're taking a really well-known actor and then replacing them with somebody who, you know, audiences might think is like not as good, like what's happening with The Witcher, for example. And I think that's also like, I mean, like Johnny Depp, like Mads Mikkelsen is like really popular, and I think everybody likes him. But Johnny Depp is definitely way more famous than he is, right? I mean, like, let's be honest, right? Johnny Depp has been a household name for fucking 30, 40 years. And so if you bring in somebody who isn't as well known, it's going to affect the popularity of the movie. It will. And I think that's the big problem that a lot of these studios don't understand, is that if you don't have a person that is either like a perfect, insanely good fit for the character, like a really good example of good casting is, what's his name? Christoph Waltz, who was casted by Quentin Tarantino. And the first movie, one of the first movies he was ever in, because he was in German cinema, is that he was cast as, what do you call it? As Hans Landa, right? In Inglourious Bastards. And it was so good that it made him like a fucking, like immediate, instantaneous A-list actor, right? Instantly. And also he followed it up with really good roles too. And so, yeah, Heisenberg. Yeah, well, I mean, no, he was still well known. Ryan Reynolds for Deadpool. Well, Ryan Reynolds had been in some other good movies in the past. I don't think that's entirely fair to say that about Ryan Reynolds. But, I mean, Deadpool is definitely, like, his main one. For sure. And so, like, what I'm saying, and Django Unchained, yeah, well, that's the main one. But I was thinking about other ones, too. But in general, that's the way I see it, right? And Van Wilder is goated. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, in general, like, having important actors and well-known actors makes a huge difference, and the actors that are in the show definitely increase the hype for the show. Because the truth is, the only time that I ever heard about the new Marvel movies with Doctor Doom was about Robert Downey Jr. So you can complain and get mad about it all you want, that like, oh, you're replacing the guy. And I can complain about it even. But the fact is, the only reason that we're talking about it is because he was the one that got cast. That's it. Yeah, no one's more iconic than Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. That's probably true. Honestly. Like, yeah, that's definitely true. Green Lantern. Yeah, I watched Green Lantern, the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie. Yeah, not so great. It was the first time I saw him as an actor. Well, yeah. Well, Robert Downey Jr. had like a 10 to 15 year crash out. And in the process of that, he, you know, went to jail, got arrested, had a bunch of other crazy shit happen. And then he got out of jail and he was on drugs, you know, all this other stuff, right? It just, you know, the typical shit that people do. And did a lot of drugs, drug addict. Yeah, exactly. And then he came back. He did Iron Man. He did like a few other roles. It was mainly Iron Man and Tropic Thunder, right? And like those two roles came out and that went, whew, that went crazy. Huge comeback, yeah. And as soon as that shit happened, but he was popular in the 90s as well. Sherlock Holmes, yes, Sherlock Holmes, that was the other one. Palm Springs IVF clinic bomber ID'd as Guy Edward Bartkiss, a pro-mortalist who opposed people being born without their consent. Okay, all right. Yep, sure. So we've got a real individual here. And let's see what else is going on here. And Bartkiss allegedly described his fanatical pro-death beliefs written in recorded manifestos as being against bringing people into the world without their consent to spare them from future suffering. KCAL News reported. Bro, this guy's like a JRPG villain. Oh my god. Yeah, this is like something straight out of like a video game. Okay, so yeah, there we go. Sanest Redditor. Yeah, I guess so. And let's see if he said anything else about it. Debris and broken glass. Why else did he say it? Nearby resident. So that's about it, right? There's nothing. Nobody else really talking about this. A what? Oh, yeah. I mean, like the guy's crazy. I mean, I don't really know what's the surprise. Oh no. Okay, let's see if I can find it here, and if there's any more information about it. Is a pro-mortalist, meaning he believes in destruction of all life. This is ultimately at the core of leftist ideology. Well, what is this here? You can download the recorded stream. Pro-mortalist, so you're just pro-psycho killers. So this is just, yeah, I mean, okay. I mean, I feel like it's just kind of a nutball, right? Yeah, kind of a nutball, so it's not a right-winger after all. No, it's not. I know that, like, I was expecting that it could have been. I thought it was somebody who was like, oh, well, IVS is a perversion of God's will or something like that. I was expecting maybe that would happen, but apparently not. And this is his, is this?
why I've decided to bomb an IVF building.
I think if I watch this, I'll get in trouble, especially like because, you know, the guys. I mean, like, what is terrorism? Well, this is terrorism, right? I mean, 100%. So, like, I mean, I'll let you know that I would watch this whole thing, but I just don't want to get in trouble from, you know, Twitch. Because as we all know, playing things made by terrorists is against the rules, and you're not allowed to do that, okay? Yeah, it's very big no-no. You're not supposed to do that. Never do that. And so anyway, let's see here. Where's the rest of it? And I don't know if there's a summary for it. Why have you done this? Possible FAQ. Down in history. Basically, I'm a pro-mortalist. Explain this in a quote. Download it just in case. Okay, so what is the end goal? The end goal is for the truth, elitism to win. And once it does, we can begin to play the process of sterilizing the planet of the disease of life. Life can only continue as long as people hold the delusional belief that it is not a zero-sum game causing senseless torture and messes that it can only partially clean up. I think we need a war against pro-lifers. Okay, so I don't even think that, like, you can. It's very obvious that this person is not talking about abortion individuals. He's talking about people that want to be alive. I don't think that this is just really the truth, right? And this is something, again, this is what makes me. There's a lot of people that would use this as like a, you know, like any sort of, like, I'm trying to think of like the best way to say it. They would use this as a point where they could say, oh, look at leftism, you know, like that people are like leftists and they're bad, etc. I don't think this person is a leftist. I think this person is just an extreme radical, and they're so far down the rabbit hole of radicalism and extremism. Yeah, it's like playing God. Yeah, exactly, right? I don't think you can blame this on left-wing ideology. I think this person, if it was up to them, they'd kill everybody, right? And so I feel like that's not really playing much of a side, is it? So yeah. And so you see Alyssa Mercante is still shit-talking you on Twitter. Yeah, I did see that. We'll talk about that later on. But yeah, so this is who the shooter is, and again, pretty much just another piece of shit. Apparently, did they catch him? Did they get him, or oh, he killed himself? Oh, okay. Well, that's wow. How sad. Wow, that's so sad. And anyway, so it was a dead body. Yeah, I guess so. And he injured for the. Wait a minute. Oh my god, what a retard. Okay, so let me get this straight. So this guy goes and he wants to kill everybody, and the only thing he manages to do is kill himself? What an idiot. What a fucking moron. Yes, look at this. Yeah, he killed someone. Yes, but he could have done that without blowing up the whole thing and doing all this like, Jesus, what a couldn't have worked better? Well, for everybody else, it sure did. You know what you say, guys? This is natural selection, and this guy selected himself. And thank God for that. Wow, this is a critic. Yes, bro, this is like rolling a 1 in D&D. It's sad, man. It's really sad. But there we go. To be honest, he did hate life. Yeah, but like under that logic, wouldn't you try to kill as many people as possible, right? I mean, that's. I don't know. I mean, that's how I like. I mean, if you don't like people being alive and you don't like life, wouldn't it be a good idea to try? Like, he tried, but like it's the worst. But like you got to admit, right? That's a bad attempt. That's like trying to break a rock in half with your head. Like, yeah, you tried, but you dumb for trying it that way. And so, yeah, he's being ironic. I guess so. Yeah, a -1 kill streak, bro. This guy own gold his own manifesto. And so, wow. Oh, what a fucking retard. But anyway, so yeah. And yeah, -1. KD at -1. And wow. He wanted to destroy hundreds of embryos at the clinic, none were harmed. Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, what a fucking idiot. But it's good that people like this clean themselves out of the gene pool, I think. And he did everybody a favor. It's a shame for the property damage. It's a shame for I'm sure people in his family, they're not
Have you the red
responsible
root
for
as
this.
well?
I feel bad for them.
boy is searching.
But you know, the people that
Perhaps
got
he could use
injured,
help.
that sucks.
Please, the
But
salve is nothing
you know, the
without
guy
both
getting
of you.
killed, you know, I think this is really a Rip Bozo situation. It's a Rip and I think the world's a better place. I do. I think it is. This is a crazy psychopath, and he was fortunately stupid and incompetent enough to only manage to kill himself in his manifesto of destroying the entire world. So wow. Wow. Wow.
I dropped
Wow,
it.
that's just too bad, right?
The animal.
What's wrong with me? If I lost it, then
You did lose it.
I'll take better care of it from now on.
FBI leaders commit to transparency to address the Epstein controversy. Really?
Well, Dan, throughout the Russia collusion story and the rest.
Look, I can speak to the folks that were in our seats, our predecessors, and they intentionally failed the American public by putting on the biggest DC deception game we've ever seen. They said the FBI was the most storied institution for law enforcement, and it was. And it will be again very soon. But when the likes of Comey and McCabe and Strzok and company came in here with the James Bakers of the world and intentionally lied to a federal court only to rig a presidential election by lying to the American public and using taxpayer dollars, likely illegally, to fund this entire operation and then withhold exculpatory information from a federal court that I used to appear before to manhunt terrorists, that's what broke the FBI. And then when they were caught, they lied about it. And you and a few others like Dan and others were brave enough to cover it 6, 7, 8 years ago. And we're still talking about it today because as Congress is working rigorously with us, the Crossfire Hurricane documents are coming fast and hard. And they're being sent there unredacted so we can have full accountability. And that's how you restore what the trust that was lost to the American public when it comes to the FBI.
Yeah, come on, Director, with all due respect, we've been talking about this for a long time.
Follow this path down.
Fucking based.
Then head towards daylight.
Absolutely fucking based.
Will we see you again?
Right.
As much or as
Okay,
little
so
as you
yeah.
And I've been demanding accountability for many, many years. One of the, you mentioned Comey, Strzok, and the rest. They've got TV
They're
shows.
gone.
They've got media platforms.
Now
They're
it's you.
fine. There's been no accountability.
Well, look, it's a fair criticism, but what I
Should put you back on your path to the mountain.
will tell
Just
people
use the
is
vote.
we weren't here in the FBI in the last 5 years when we had statute of limitations that were still in play, where we could have investigated criminal conduct. Most of these statute of limitations are 5 years old. And we will investigate criminal conduct where we find a righteous case to do so, and the law and the facts allow us to. But a lot...
That's fair. If he said the statute of limitations is over and they can't investigate it, I mean, that's stupid, but I mean, that's okay.
A lot of it we're precluded from. So we'll take the criticism, and it's rightfully so. Like, could we have done more in the past? Sure, people before us could have. But what we can do now is continue to put out the documents and the information that these people withheld from the American public. And I'm just telling you right now, as much as we know about Crossfire Hurricane, he and I just found out more last week. And we're continuing to work with Congress to put those documents out. That's how vindictive and vicious the former leadership structure here was. Not only did they bastardize the FISA process and lie to the American public, they hid documentation and put it in rooms where people weren't supposed to look. And it's a good thing we're here now to clean it up, and you're about to see a wave of transparency.
What do you mean?
Just give us about a week or two.
Okay.
I remember hearing that with QAnon. 2 weeks and the Patriots are going to they're going to arrest Joe Biden, and Trump is going to be the president again, and they're going to put all of the pedophiles like Hillary Clinton and George Soros in jail.
That smells the sea.
Just 2 more weeks, guys.
The sea stinks.
I understand that things take time, but
Look at that.
they've got to reconcile with the fact that they said they were going to release the Epstein files, and it hasn't happened.
I never thought you listened when Mother spoke of the gods.
I seldom did.
That's
Did
it.
she speak of one who could feel no pain?
So, what, yet? Yet? When the fuck is it gonna happen? She said that Pam Bondi said it was on her desk.
Oh.
Would she fucking
Sounds
lose
like
it?
Baldur. An Aesir god, son of Odin and Frigg.
And Odin is king.
Like, I mean,
That's right.
really, like, what are we doing?
Why do you ask?
And also, by the way, you have all these people that are on Reddit making these comments about killing the president.
Can't quite make it out.
Where the fuck are you guys doing? What are y'all doing? You're firing people. Why not have them arrest the guys on Reddit and fire them after you get all the Reddit guys?
It reads,
Wouldn't that be a better idea? Like, 'cause, I mean, really, if you don't have enough people, then why'd you fire them?
Awaken again the cradle of the world.
Yeah, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
What?
Just watch the interview. Okay,
Throw
I'll
our
watch the.
weapons into the water?
This is it's only 6
This won't
minutes.
be a problem for
FBI.
you.
So we have a multi-part process.
Are
First
you
of all,
gonna
our
do it?
priorities. Simple. Crush violent crime. Defend the homeland. Rigorous organizational accountability. And the fourth, which leads directly to your question, aggressive constitutional oversight with Congress. The way we rebuild trust is we already have the men and women here in the rank and file that signed up to be cops, that signed up to be intel analysts, that signed up to be special support staff, that want to do the work. That's why we're sending them into the field. We can talk about that later. What we need America to know is that this place was politicized. And Congress rightfully reflects the fact.
Everybody agrees with that. Everybody knows this.
Documents from Crossfire Hurricane to January 6th to the Richmond Catholic Memo and so much more. But now finally Americans are...
Catch us the full interview on his wait, hold up. I don't know if I want to go through 34 minutes. We'll watch the short one, and like, we're just going to move on after that, right?
reading for themselves the documentation where a very select few leaders in the former FBI decided to politicize it. We don't need me and the deputy telling you it's politicized. We want the American people to read it, and now they are.
And I know I lived with
Great.
it for you. I watched it with you and Debbie Nunes when you were truth tellers on all of this. You were as well throughout the Russia collusion story and the rest.
Look, I can speak to the folks that are in our seats, our predecessors, and they intentionally failed the American public by putting on the biggest DC deception game we've ever seen. They said the FBI was the most storied institution for law enforcement, and it was, and it will be again very soon. But when the likes of Comey and McCary and Strzok and company came in here, the James Bakers of the world, and intentionally lied to a federal court.
We're going to take this 2 minutes ahead because we just saw this part.
But a lot of it we're precluded from. So we'll take the criticism, and it's rightfully so. That could we have done more in the past? Sure, people before us could have. But what we can do now is continue to put out the documents and the information that these people withheld from the American public. And I'm just telling you right now, as much as we know about Crossfire Hurricane, he and I just found out more last week. And we're continuing to work with Congress to put those documents out. That's how vindictive and vicious the former leadership structure here was. Not only did they bastardize the FISA process and lie to the American public, they withheld and hid documentation and put it in rooms where people weren't supposed to look. And it's a good thing we're here now to clean it up, and you're about to see a wave of transparency.
What do you mean?
Just give us about a week or two.
Okay. Well, I can tell you right now that the judge that gave a smack on the wrist on the one agent that lied and, you know, misled the American people, that's the same judge who's back and stopping Donald Trump.
Bro, she's actually so fucking based for asking these questions.
It would seem.
Like, I completely agree with everything she's saying. Like, you're talking about accountability and then nothing happens.
Trump from doing things, isn't it, Judge Boasberg?
Yeah, I just got to push back. Listen, we've been here 2 months. He's been here a couple more weeks than that. I mean, we've been here 2 months. You're dealing with a 38,000-member organization and an approximately $12 billion budget.
Fair point.
Where to expect us in 2 months to dig up what was a 8-year, maybe longer, multi-year politicized investigation.
I think the problem is that the Epstein files aren't released. If the Epstein files were released, I think people would have trust that things are going in the right way. But the fact that they're not being released is the issue. Because, like, I could easily say, yeah, bro, like, it probably takes a long time to get everything in order. But, like, what about that one thing that's, like, this is, like, the Diddy case times 50. Because it's, like, heads of state and, like, multi-billionaires involved.
Brock?
Where's the names? Where's the people that went to the island?
I got something for you. And don't
Investigation with multiple layers of processes, from Wood's procedures being just thrown in the garbage can and flushed down the toilet bowl, to multiple layers of accountability where people lied and obfuscated.
Test our patience.
I'm not asking you to trust me. You want this done right, or you want it done quickly? Because
just do it quickly.
All over each other just to catch a whiff.
I'd rather you do it quickly.
You rush around like that everywhere.
Because if you do it right, see, the problem is that if you do it the whatever you think the idea of right is, here's the reason why. Right is created in an apparatus that the people that are doing wrong have designed.
The pile of rocks there.
Doing it right means by playing by the rules that these people have created that obfuscate their behavior.
Cut between the realms. If you ever see them out in the world,
right is bureaucracy.
Quick. But it's only one way.
You can't have it both ways. You want it done quickly, we'll do it. And you know what'll happen? Just what happened last time. Those same Spygate collusion perpetrators sued the government, got money, got all this. You want that? We'll do it. We'll do it quickly and do it wrong.
But are you saying you found things that even you didn't know about? I mean, you were at the core of this.
Yes. I was the lead Russiagate investigator for the House Intelligence Committee, and I've been on both your shows in a prior life talking about it. And I'm telling you and the American public that we have now found material and information and people who wanted to hide it from the world since we got in these seats. And we, as the deputy said, we are trying...
Until I see people get charged for treason, I sleep.
To do it in a fashion where not only are we informing the American public of what happened, but we can have accountability for it. And that takes a little bit more time. And when you layer on the fact that we are rolling...
You live in a fantasy world? Why? Why can't you just do it? Really, why not? Who decided you can't do it? You can do it. Don't be a bitch.
Out our priorities on violent crime and defending the homeland. You know, we're running a three-part animal here, and we're going 100 miles an hour on each single one.
So important.
Wait, I want to add to that too, because what the director's saying is right. You got to remember, we come in the morning.
You say I'm being immature about this?
What's it gonna be?
I think that every argument that you can make about this appeal to processes is immediately removed when you use the example of El Salvador.
So
I will not be
you sticking around for grains
like
of wisdom?
fucking like, oh, push down, oh, well, we have this process that's been created by this fraudulent, corrupt organization that's created for the precise reason to, you know, abstract accountability to as many people as possible so nobody ever gets in trouble. You're not going to psyop me into thinking that I need to play by the rules created by the ones who are my enemy. No. Absolutely not.
There's a portfolio of 100 level 10 items.
Yeah.
If it's a level 9, which is a pretty big freaking deal, someone else fixed it. The only thing that gets to my desk or his is a level 10. That's the entire day. Look at his schedule any given day. I'll show you the palm card I have. It is filled from 7:30 to he leaves 7 at night, 6:30 at night. It's filled all day. We just can't focus on one thing. You want New York to go boom? DC to go boom? You want an OC organization to go hack into some cyber network and crack all of Fox News' holdings? We're dealing with all that stuff too. Everything's a priority. Everything.
I think this is a good point that they're bringing up, and the problem that they're having is that they're probably running
I still
into,
can't read these.
like, they're probably running into
I still can't read
managerial and
these.
organizational structural issues because they're trying to make a change at the top, but they're not able to bring in enough people that are effectively like middle managers to solve each individual problem. I think that's and again, like, this is a struggle. This is what happens with a lot of things, right? Not enough new guard. Yeah, like I get it. Yeah, for sure, definitely. But again, like I think that I think we need an update on the Epstein files every day. Why did it not come out today? Why is it not coming out tomorrow? Why didn't it come out yesterday?
It's a priority. This is one of many things we did. It's not an excuse. It's just reality.
Now, the Democrats are turning on you, right? I mean, I saw your hearing the other day. Critics have accused you of using the FBI to target political enemies. So set the record straight. You wrote an entire book about it, Government Gangsters. Tell us, how do you respond to the attacks?
Very simple. The FBI's prior leadership left us an institution, that is, a police force for America and the world, that allowed a fentanyl.
Yeah, some bullshit. I mean, here's the thing. You're saying going against the process, the law, but the law will hit back, and it'll hit back harder, and it'll win. No, it won't. You just make it so they can't. And it's the same as El Salvador. Trump did it. Trump sent those fuckers to El Salvador. They're never coming back. They're done. They're cooked. It's over. And then also, by the way, change the law.
Poison.
Again, limp dick, erectile dysfunction, can't use a computer, 75-year-old boomer wrote this shit down 20 years ago, and now we have to treat it like it's the 10 Commandments? Change the fucking rule. Fuck that. Absolutely not. That's what I think. If having evidence suppression isn't enough to them, then I don't know what is. Yeah. People just don't want to take accountability for their actions. Yeah, just change it, man.
They smell awful.
This guy lost so much aura from not releasing stuff. I understand that they have struggles, and I think, do you guys see what I'm saying, though, about where it seems like their big problem is that they don't have enough people that are working inside of the system that they feel like will work in a way that's congruent with what their goals are. And, like, that's probably, that's what's really holding them back. Is that they're basically trying to fight a war on like 200 fronts, and they only have 50 guys.
Whoa.
Like, that makes no sense.
Here.
No, it does, because you have to delegate accountability. Like, you can't have a guy that's like, he's responsible for, you know, investigating, you know, some like fucking counterterrorism thing, some drug rule thing. Like, you can't have one person that's accountable to like 10 different projects.
Well, I won't
you have to have
dispute
one
that.
guy that does one
I
thing.
know that blade.
And
It was
so,
one of
yeah,
ours,
that's it.
but,
How does that not make sense? Yeah, of course it does. They're also picking and choosing which ones they want to release. Who's holding them back? Why are they not reassignments? To be honest with you, I bet that probably does take time. And I think that more statements like that are what people need. So there is just a direct, obvious, and just very simple explanation of things without trying to, you know, make up bullshit, basically. And yeah, that's what I think, right? And yeah, just direct language. Former cop, cops will always circle the wagons when they think that they're under fire. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they will, right? I mean, of course they will. Pam Bondi gets on TV and makes a grandstanding photo op about releasing the same files everyone had. It doesn't give them very much accountability.
Okay.
Well, not only does it not give them accountability, but it takes the accountability and the hope that people had, and it makes the people who had it look like fools. So it's even worse.
Well, it's true, but knowing your mother, she would have insisted I repair that act of vandalism perpetrated against her axe by my brother.
I knew it. You are Brock's brother. The other half of the brand's here.
The blue one is your brother.
Yes. Though my talents are vastly superior. No boast. I swear to Freya.
Red Pill University. Oh boy, oh boy. Here we go.
Humans are living in a state of total illusion. Everything they think they're doing is just in their mind. It's not real. If they want to experience reality, well, then they have to escape the Matrix. And to do that, they must take the red pill. Now, only then can they see the world the way it really is.
After this, there is no turning back.
Let's talk about college. In 1990, the average cost of a 4-year bachelor's degree at a private university was $9,000. And
what? Oh. $9,000? Oh.
80% of students graduated with no student debt and a well-paying job that allowed them to buy a home without having to make a damn OnlyFans or a Patreon page that hosts exclusive content for $5 a month. Today, the cost of that same 4-year degree is $62 grand, 7 times more expensive. And the average student leaves college unemployed with $40 grand in student loan debt, only to be stuck mixing margaritas and making latte art in Bushwick, wishing to God they'd went to trade school for HVAC installation. Still, enrollment numbers haven't dropped really, and the youth appears to still be playing the damn game, forking over wads of cash to 4-year private university.
You can't blame kids for this. They literally get groomed into it. Like, you grow up, and from age 5, you are in an institution that tells you that you need to go to college. And then, big surprise, kids, after 12 years of this institutional grooming, decide that they have to go to college and sign a Faustian pact with the government that makes them basically in debt for life. But yeah, no, I don't blame kids for this at all.
Very well. Cities like Brown, Chapman, Harvard, Princeton, Yale, Loyola University, New Orleans campus. But let's keep it real, yo. These schools are telling us bullshit. What if I told you you didn't have to...
Real, yo. These schools are telling us bullshit. I love it. Ain't that a fact?
You can do that. You can learn just as much and even more with a proper Red Pilled education at Red Pill University. According to their website, Red Pill University is a coalition of individuals and organizations that share a common problem, which is that peaceful, law-abiding citizens are experiencing ever-increasing control over their lives by governments and corporations. The Red Pill...
Guys, I think I'm starting to get red pilled.
University was founded by Edward Griffin, an American author and filmmaker that some people call a conspiracy theorist.
Hi, I'm Ed Griffin, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to Red Pill Expo, which is a project...
I mean, this is impressive, bro. This guy is 92 years old, and he's still cooking. 92.
Red Pill University.
So as you can see, we're in front of Holiday Inn right now. But it's not just a regular weekend at Holiday Inn. Inside right now is the Red Pill University Benefactor Private Meeting, where all the benefactors who pay over $500 a month to Red Pill University are here to discuss all things Red Pilled. So we're gonna go inside, see if we can see what's going on, and maybe, hopefully, gain some knowledge. We decided to start off in the conference room where Dr. Lee Merritt, who's from a small town where chickens are illegal, was giving a presentation.
What?
On how the ruling class is controlling citizens using nefarious tactics.
You're either being blackmailed, you're being extorted, or you're going to be murdered. One of the things that woke me up to the fact that this is a global conspiracy to murder us, at the top, at the very top, are the controllers. One thing they never tell you, that the people in charge worship Moloch, the old religion, sacrifice children, and promote cannibalism. And I don't know about you, but I just don't go to dinner parties like this.
Yeah.
So who benefits? And I'm just throwing this out there. They're keeping...
Who benefits?
Atreus.
Is that who I think it is?
Sorry, I got distracted.
Yep. That's Hillary Clinton. Wow.
They're keeping their bloodline very, very tightly controlled so they don't lose these powers. I mean, I'm not saying they're not human beings for sure, but I'm just saying something...
Oh my God! What is this bullshit?
What's wrong here? The reason that you don't know...
No, you guys are right. It was actually Mark Zuckerberg.
They hide in the shadows. When children are used up, they're parted out for organ parts. They're forced to do this at some point. If you take the money and the fame, you're bought into this.
Yeah, nothing to see here. I'm sure that's what you guys do on the weekend also. Mock killings and kissing skulls. And
openly satanic. Red, black, anger, fear, lies, deception.
The big problem that I have with people like this is like 10 to 20% of what they're saying is so unfathomably true and based that it makes it disappointing that the other 80 to 90% is this like delirious bullshit. It's very disappointing for me to see this because this is crazy. This is crazy stuff.
Propaganda. So yeah, there was a CIA project the last 6 years against me, but I take that as an honor. Stop following orders. Resistance is victory. Here's the G. Edward Griffin again.
I'm not going to change my message. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
G. Edward Griffin.
Unvaccinated fly through now. And I used to be a spinal and orthopedic surgeon, and now I'm a professional medical rebel. We can't accept evil, and we can't participate in evil. Don't let them use your hands.
I'm telling you, bro, like vaccine, the COVID vaccine and COVID, like I was talking to him about this yesterday. COVID, I don't know when we're going to recover from COVID. Like, I used to think it was going to be like a period, like at this point, I don't know when it's going to happen.
People. It's time to repent and turn away from that. Don't participate. And how much is your job worth? They're coming after your children.
What do you mean?
There's a pattern here of killing the elderly, killing the Down syndrome patients. I didn't read a Bible for 4 years of my life. I'm not a churchgoer. I'm just saying there's real good, there's real evil. You need to choose the right side here.
Needless to say, I was less than surprised that this was the curriculum within Red Bull University.
We are living in a parallel universe. We're living in an alternate universe. We do not understand what reality is. And the red pill is the pill that allows people to understand and see the world as it really is.
How many people are enrolled in Red Pill University?
In the whole program, I think we've got close to 25,000 people. America.
That's a lot of people, bro. That's a lot. And the top one is $500 a month. That's crazy.
It's waking up, and I'm really excited because I think we have maybe a higher level of people understanding that truth and starting to question the authorities.
You gotta ask questions. It doesn't matter what subject it is. If you don't ask the questions, you're not doing your part as a citizen to say, well, I don't know, why would we do that? We just go along with it. I think that's the biggest thing that's getting everyone in trouble is we're not asking questions anymore. We quit that part.
And that's what we need to do. Americans.
This is all COVID. This shit, this COVID, like, oh my God.
All about having the freedom, having the ability to question authority. To question when we're told something, we should have the freedom to make the choice for ourselves.
The goal is to red pill people, just like the Matrix. Take the blue pill, stay asleep. Take the red pill and wake up.
I think Obama's running the White House. I think he's serving his third term. I don't think anything is that.
Obama has been spotted at the White House multiple times since his presidency, missing a job.
I think it's all being orchestrated, it's being planned, it's being implemented in a way that steers us into a one-world collectivist government. Everything that's happened in the world is planned. I do a podcast called Connecting the Dots.
In a way, it's comforting being around so many conspiracy theorists. Not because I spent so many of my formative years in the halls of their conferences and trade shows, but because they possess a true confidence in the human spirit, or rather, the ability of mankind to keep secrets for a long period of time. In a world where constant human error, loose-lipped clout chasers, and other random variables throw straightforward operations way off track on a daily basis, it's almost comforting to envision a larger, perfectly coordinated nebulous force pulling the strings behind the scenes. It assigns order to chaos, while allowing adherents to skip the intellectual legwork of figuring out who they
Every organization that I've ever been a part of is full of retards. This is why I don't think the global conspiracies on a very high level exist. actually the reason.
Not bad, right?
A decent
Hell,
start.
these controllers actually are. Lizards, demons, Nephilims, Hakubians, Jews, probably all the above. The point is that somebody's got a plan.
What's the history of the university? Like, who started it?
That would be Mr. Griffin's thing. He wants to leave a legacy of knowledge behind for people. So G. Edward Griffin did start that, and since all this stuff goes clear back to the 69.
So this is G. Edward Griffin, right?
This is.
What can you tell us about the man himself?
He is a smart man. At 93 years old, I think he's got more knowledge and more
93?
ability than people at 30 do. And he just really wants the knowledge out there for people to grow with it.
What do you think's like the
I love
best
how it shows, like, it's like some footage from him from the 90s, and he looks the exact same. This is like, yeah, that's back whenever he was young at 70. You know, like, goddamn. It's good for 93. Yeah, this is why I've always been like, I've always said, like, some people, bro, some people crash out in their 50s, and other people are, like, still farming in their 90s.
here if you could recommend one purchase, 'cause I'm going to buy something.
But I would say The World Without Cancer is a cover on the B-17. And since cancer is getting bigger and bigger and becoming more of a problem, people need alternatives.
I truly believe Ed's biggest legacy is World Without Cancer, simply because if you take away your health, you'll pay all your money to get your health back. We know the answer to cancer. We've known it for, in the United States, probably 100 years. People have been wiping out cancer with nutrition, and we've known about it, but they've done a great job at keeping us not knowing that. So basically you're treated like an idiot if you believe that cancer is a nutritional deficiency, and that's what it is. This world is not about healing people. This world is about money, finances.
The answer is that the modern medical business model is to control a disease and keep it alive, but never cure it.
Much more profitable.
And this is the problem, is that I think that what he just said, I think there's probably some truth to that. I do.
I wonder if Sindri knows his
Like, I'm the kind of person that if there was a cure for cancer, I would not immediately believe that they would come out and say what it was. Same with Dennis. Like, if the dentist could cure tooth decay and regrow your teeth, would they come out and push that?
Stay back, boy.
What?
Probably
is
not,
that?
right?
We must find
I
another
always
way
expect
up.
people to act in self-interest.
The witch.
And
If she
whenever
was
it's
here,
people whose
then she could
jobs
get us
relies
past
on
this.
you being sick,
My magic
that's
is
a pretty
useless
myopic
against the
viewpoint.
Black Breath, and there's no way around it.
To treat someone with
saw to that
chemotherapy,
long ago.
radiation, and
What are you
drugs,
doing here?
or
Making sure
surgery,
you can
and
finish
less
your journey.
profitable doing it with nutrition.
That's a
Why
bad
would you
business
warn
model.
us?
If you
I
cure
was
a
and there's
disease,
also
saving my
probably some
friend,
truth to this
if you
as well.
remember.
Is that nutrition probably does play a
The
role in
Black
people
Breath
getting
is
cancer.
a corruption of
And I
magic.
bet people
Even
who
I
eat
can't
certain
dispel.
types of, I mean, it's been
Only
proven
the
that
pure
certain
light
types of foods and
Alfheim is strong
preservatives
enough
cause
to
cancer,
break through.
or at least increase
That road is
cancer.
long. What does this goal mean to you?
you lose a customer.
Follow the money all the way down the rabbit hole. You end up in a battle between good and evil. That's what it comes down to. If you get down to the deepest parts of it, and many people nowadays are going down the rabbit
Maybe I
hole
see
and
more of
finding the
myself
extreme
in me than I'm
evil
willing
that they
to
find on
Maybe.
the bad side, let's call it, the collectivism side,
Maybe
where
by helping
everybody's
you,
grouped
I'll make
together
up
in the
for
same
my
pile.
time.
And the other side of it is the individual sides. And I know that
Or maybe
sounds
I'm
like
just
a
like you.
conspiracy theory, but I have all the
Even though
facts
we
to back
shot
it
your
up,
friend?
and I have all the information to back it up. So
Even though you
that's
shot
my
my
passion.
friend.
You ever feel like there's an institution built on feeding you information that may or not be true
must
in
we
a
go?
sick attempt
I've been spending 8 minutes watching
To a
that, actually,
realm
in fact, yeah.
Beyond
to
your
make you a
own.
mindless cog in their belief system?
Yes.
That's because there is, and it's called the mainstream media. Different outlets push different agendas, shaping the story to fit their own narrative, which is why independent
another
reporting
round?
matters, and we here at Channel 5 are committed to bringing y'all raw, unfiltered coverage straight from the streets. But before we even go put boots on the ground, we get informed using Ground News. Ground News is a dope-ass news aggregate that lets you see exactly how different media outlets, left, right, and center, are covering the same story using their biased
This is the second best news aggregator behind me.
distribution tool. Just look at how the mainstream media is covering
Obviously.
Michelle Obama's recent comments about the Trump administration's deportation policy. This article's headline from the left-wing radical Huffington Post reads, Michelle Obama reveals what keeps her up at night about Trump's second term, while the far-right Gateway Pundit reports Michelle Obama claims deportation issue keeps her up at night after her husband deported 3 million illegals. With Ground News, you can track and compare these dueling narratives to see what's actually being said and, most importantly, what's being left out. Another thing I love about ground news is how it actually helps you figure out what's really news by showing you how many sources are covering a story. For example, the story about Mark Carney's Liberal Party winning Canada's recent election has 612 news sources. So you know it's not just some bullshit being covered by a handful of small outlets. That kind of transparency lets you...
I'm not sure really if, you know, the amount of outlets covering it matters, but I think sometimes it does.
Judge the credibility of an article before repeating it in a conversation and realizing you've been fed a one-sided narrative and are now a cog in the machine. Another feature I love to use is called the blind spot tool, which shows you the stories that might not be appearing in your typical media bubble. We know that it's easy to get trapped in an algorithmic echo chamber, and ground news helps you break out of that cycle by surfacing stories you might otherwise miss. And we can't miss a thing here at Channel 5, which is why we trust ground news to help us cut right through the noise.
Maybe I should use that. Maybe I should use this to see if it would work with my with like finding information for stream, because like there's probably things that I miss out on, I don't talk about, that like people might find interesting.
And right now, you can subscribe for 40% off the Unlimited Access Vantage plan, which comes out to less than $5 a month. Just scan the QR code or click the link below to sign up.
Maybe,
so check it out, stay informed, and don't let the media tell you what to think.
One really cool thing that I've learned about Red Pill University is that if you like get to that final benefactor tier, you actually get free legal counsel from someone named Paimon Motahedin, who created some...
Paimon more money?
At the foot of these hills.
He was fixing it when we got here.
That sounds too
no
close
one was
to
there
that,
when I
man.
passed by.
Like
Perhaps
that. This is like, this has got to be a joke, right?
And irritating, based on
called
the
the Freedom Law School.
Like,
so I looked him up. He's actually the most wanted man in America by the IRS. I think he owes them like $60 million. But I've seen some videos of him and he seems pretty awesome. So I'm gonna go in there and see if I can find him.
But surprisingly, Paimon was the one who found us. And of course, he was passing out the true food of freedom.
Tyr's temple is at the center
Oh, hell yeah, thanks, dude.
It is from there we...
The best pickles?
Well, if they want them so much, why don't they just go and get them? I mean, they must not want them that much, would they? I mean, he just literally just standing here. I mean, like, what the fuck?
My name is Paimon Motahedin, and I am the most wanted man by the IRS, and I've defeated them, as you can see by the cartoon right there. This is IRS myth and the IRS reality. Don't be afraid of the myth. Look at the reality. IRS stands for, it's as you see up here, it's
I love it. Oh my God.
really secret.
Yes.
Soviet Union in America is collapsing. IRS is a failed agency.
Right.
They are a creature of the media. They're the same one for over 100 years told us IRS is a god that will take you. In fact, look at the cartoons I got here. Right, look right here. These cartoons really tell it to you. This is the United States government.
How is a lawyer using political cartoons as evidence for why the IRS is bad? Like, this is crazy. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
But they're not. There's a famous saying that people suffer for lack of knowledge. And it is true. And what is the solution? Seek the truth, and the truth shall set you free.
Okay.
And that's what the Red Pill Expo is all about.
What's your position here at the university?
Well, the Red Pill University is different than other universities out there. It's not a government-approved or sanctioned university. It's a forum where people get to educate themselves. Because real education is not what someone indoctrinates you in your brain. It's you yourself seeking the truth and empowering yourself. Freedom Law School, which I'm president of, for example, I provide courses for people to educate themselves about the law, and by understanding basics of law, how they can be free. In America, for example, we've been turned into slaves. There is no law requiring us to file and pay federal income taxes.
Oh, you know, I mean, hey, I'm in Texas. We don't pay income tax over here. Maybe he's right.
I have not filed and paid any federal income taxes openly, and teaching others to do the same for over
30 years. There are 7 steps to free yourself of virus deception, robbery, and slavery.
After speaking to Paimon, it was time to meet the man himself,
Oh,
G. Edward
shit.
Griffin, the creator of the university. Griffin has been in the game
The
for decades,
architect.
speaking out against things like the Federal Reserve,
Bro,
different
you have to admit, that is crazy.
Griffin has been in the game for decades, speaking out against...
Dude, this is the same guy. The same dude. The OG, yes.
against things like the Federal Reserve, different aspects of communism, and has been critical of the United Nations. Some of his better-known works include World Without Cancer, The Discovery of Noah's Ark, The Capitalist Conspiracy, and The Creature from Jekyll Island.
Oh
we
my
purchased
God.
a copy of The Creature from Jekyll Island and lined up to see Edward Griffin in person and ask him a few questions.
Okay.
Well, obviously we're coming to the end of the line.
Yes, this is
so
it.
drum up some more new business here.
You cool if we film a little bit?
Yeah.
Can you tell us your name and what year you were born?
I can't think of anything funny to say, so I'll just say my name.
Yeah.
I'm Ed Griffin.
Mhm.
I was born in 1931. I was raised up in the...
Damn, bro, what the fuck? Damn, bro, he's still cooking. He's still on it. He's still sharp. Yeah. Damn.
east side of Detroit, which is
Bro's older than the Bible. Yeah, he broke the Matrix. Yeah, exactly.
considered to be a not such a good part of town. I had no idea of that when I was young. I thought it was
Which,
quite normal.
by the way, I do want to say, do you remember what everybody always says, oh, you're too skinny? Every time I see a really, really old guy, I just think that's interesting. Huh?
Was fortunate enough to go to school, learn a few things, and then I got serious about life when I found out what was happening in the real world.
What do you think is the main issues facing the world today?
Freedom. I would say in one word, it's individual responsibility, individualism, the freedom to be fulfilled in what you want to do and what you feel you should do, freedom to be human.
Cool. Well, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
So what name should I put in here?
You can just put Andrew.
A-N-G-R-A-W.
Yeah, thanks.
You gonna read it, Andrew?
Hell yeah, I'm gonna read it.
Are you?
Andrew,
I
what do
am.
you
I
think-
mean,
what do you
do
think
you
is
think
the
it's
most
okay becoming deceptive at places like this and tell people you're from channel whatever?
I am from
know.
channel.
Who you are.
Wait till you see the video that we make.
Okay, so this is gonna be on. This isn't a documentary.
No,
thing?
this is for YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, I promise.
So it's YouTube, but you're
Yeah.
not channel whatever.
I am Channel 5 on YouTube.
Are you? Channel 5 on YouTube. Okay. Well, I'm just saying, I don't like the deception, man. I watch your stuff. Some of your stuff's okay, but you know you're coming here to punk these people.
Don't
yes,
think that's
you
true.
are. 100%.
Andrew, what's your most important thing
In life?
in life?
Probably being independent, not selling
I
out.
love how he didn't even give a fuck about any of this. Like, he didn't even pay it. He was just like, yeah, whatever. Like, this is... Bro, it didn't even faze him. Didn't even comment on it.
I mean, this is the guy.
What did
That's
he
why.
say?
In life.
Probably being independent, not selling out.
I mean, this is the guy. That's why,
Yeah.
I highly respect you.
I've been watching
I would hate
his-
to have you put him in a negative light.
I bet you
Because-
I'll give you 10 grand if he looks bad.
10 grand.
Yes.
Well, that's nice. I'm Jason Burks.
Andrew.
I know
Hey,
who you are.
if this
I know
guy
who you
looks...
are.
I mean, I think Andrew's keeping his 10 grand. I do. I think it's incredibly respectable. Even like, the cancer thing. I don't know if I agree with the cancer thing, right? This dude has been in the game for 70 fucking years. Yeah. That's crazy.
If this guy looks bad, I'll give you $10,000.
All right, well, that's good because, he's done some great.
That has nothing to do with that.
You're not going to take the 10 grand?
I'll take the 10 grand.
No, I'm just saying, I actually care about this, so.
Do you really?
Yeah, I'm interested in alternative education in general,
Will
yeah.
you do my show?
He said his name was Jason.
Of course. Now we've reached the final destination.
Burmez.
Hey everybody, Jason Burmez here.
And claimed to be the creator of Loose Change.
I'm the guy that did Loose Change.
A controversial documentary from back in the day about the September 11th attacks. I should note that Burmez is not the director, but one of 6 producers involved, alongside Alex Jones and Tim Spark. Coincidentally, a fair amount of people credit Loose Change as being their red pill moment.
But I'm a freedom of speech guy. The thing is that I see so much of the deplatforming.
Got a wild one.
Misinformation or disinformation that may or may not be. Obviously,
which, by the way, another person radicalized by COVID, because this is when it started happening. Again, dude, COVID, it has done such damage. It is incalculable.
Shifted that with things like malinformation, right? Which can be truthful, but it's basically harmful to their agenda. That's a problem for me. And again, it seems like a right-left issue on that thing, but flip the script and have it be someone the Republicans don't like, and I think they do the same thing.
He's right, and they did that. And he's old enough to remember it back in the 2000s.
Fake news. I don't think conservatives are going to save us. I don't think the Republicans are going to save us. I don't think the Democrats are going to save us. I think it is individuals. And quite frankly, individualism, that's why he's important, is really what the Constitution and Bill of Rights are really all about.
You guys might not know this, but I think that might be him.
Ultimately, it ended in a stalemate,
it's either one of these two guys. That was him.
Empty-handed. The serpent
the Constitution and Bill of Rights are really all about, right? They're enshrining the rights of an individual, especially with the First Amendment, your freedom of speech, and your Fourth Amendment, to be free in your persons and property. And I think that's important.
I wanted to ask you, like, in your opinion, what can we do to make our reporting more fair?
It's a good question, man. I'm not necessarily against
I actually think this is such a W by Andrew, because this guy came off so aggro.
You did.
And
Andrew called him out and just directly addressed him as a normal person. And
when he talks, I can't understand
it just totally disarmed
Sadly,
it.
no one can.
Totally shut it down.
Dead tongue.
Oh. Must be lonely.
Moments, right? And this is the first time we've met, so I don't know what's in your heart.
Positivity for sure.
Just along here.
Well, I hope so, Andrew. I'm all about people that are motivated and putting things out there. And
one thing that I think this shows, it's the same thing that I had talked about before, is that most people can get along even if they have different viewpoints. And whenever you make a human connection with another person, that will transcend any sort of like usual bullshit like ideology barriers. And you see like immediately this guy came off aggro and he's mad. And then if you can keep a cool head and not play into that game, you will always come out ahead.
Those roots. What kind of magic is that?
Like I said, I've seen your stuff, and I realize, you were able to sell something to HBO, which is incredible, right? That's very tough to do in this day and age. I just want something that is not pushing either side, because I think that the extremes on both sides are ridiculous, man. And I'll watch some more of your stuff, and maybe I'll have a little more constructive criticism, but I appreciate it, man. Like, I hope that you understand, like, when I see G. Edward Griffin, I kind of, I don't want to see that guy get punked. The other guys, well, whatever. Like, I guess that's it, Andrew.
Cool, thanks, man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Well, surprise, everybody.
What a normal guy.
I guess they figured out that I was not indeed a benefactor. I don't give them $500 a month. I'm just a guy who cares about the truth. It's a bummer they think that I'm a hardcore Antifa, Daily Show, HBO, Deep State, Biden sellout, but fuck it, we got to keep pushing. But this is a very nice hotel with a great pool, so I'm probably going to go in the hot tub and try to red pill myself without any help, because obviously they don't want to assist me in my red pilling. Hey, but Pete, there's 2 crickets fucking right here. What the hell? You guys ever seen that before?
Make a right at the bottom of these stairs.
Fuck the authority, Channel 5 News.
Oh, shit.
We don't fuck with custers, and 5 is the best number.
Damn, that's wild.
Hey, what's up, guys? Oh, shit. Hey, man, thanks for that web link. It's really working. I don't know if you guys missed the memo, but we just dropped it.
Dude, I will never get over the fact that when this guy interviewed that, I think it was like a journalist at that one event, and this journalist just totally fucking crashed out, lost his fucking mind. He got so mad at this dude in the ski mask for just fucking nothing, too. Literally fucking nothing.
Entire feature film. That's right, a full-blown
was it? I don't remember what it was.
www.dearkellyfilm.com.
DearKellyFilm.com.
It's an action-packed movie that revolves around the life and
The
times of
Guardian?
Kelly
Yes.
Jones, a.k.a. Kelly J. Patriot.
Kobe Bryant was assassinated by the Clintons.
Come here, Nazi. You're going to Guantanamo.
Oh my gosh, what did I do? Am I getting canceled?
The Democrats don't like you. They're going to cancel you. It documents his semi-estranged family and their attempt to pull him out of the rabbit hole.
Are you selling baby parts, yes or no? Don't tread on me! Don't even think about it!
I don't want to say too much.
Did Vanny or magic raise the dead?
Once. But this is no spell.
But it's a good movie. If you guys want to watch it, it would mean a lot. www.dearkellyfilm.com. It's available for rent and buy. You can rent it for $5.55.
I think there's a lot of
That is all I know for sure.
this is a really good way, like, and I'm seeing more creators doing this, is that
That's perfect.
they're creating their own products that have their own intrinsic value, and they're selling those products as a way to like maintain profitability while not having to like sell out to sponsors. This is a really healthy, good thing that I think people that are more like business minded and I think just smarter are going to be doing. I hugely support you know, Andrew. I think he's great, right? I ran and watched the movie. It was very good. Yeah. You should do a documentary on WoW, maybe, right? He's already sponsored. Yeah, I know, but he's sponsored by a company that aligns with his worldview, right? And so he's not sponsored by Call of Dragons, Raid Shadow Legends, AFK Journey, Honkai Star Rail.
Cents, or you can buy it for $15.55.
www.dearkellyfilm.com. www.dearkellyfilm.com.
Once you claim the light of all time, infuse the ghost ring with it. Don't forget.
I can't get them all, right? And yeah, so there it is. And so would you ever make a documentary? I don't know if I ever really would, honestly. And the truth is, why is that? I mean, I don't know. It's like I'm very happy doing what I'm doing right now. I'm extremely happy with it. And so I don't know if I really want to go and change things and like start to you know, go and do different stuff. Like I felt very happy doing my stream, going live regularly, and you know, having fun. And so, like, really, I'm just not really seeing myself going and fixating on that kind of stuff, right? Are we finishing Act 2 now? Yeah, more of a commentator. Well, and it's also like there's a lot of work to do whenever you do a documentary, and I respect the people that do it. I do, and that's why I know that it would be a lot of work for me to do. I think a lot of people don't understand how much it is. Give me 1 second. I use the bathroom.
Approach the table.
We did an Asmongold movie. I don't know about that.
You will need this. A Bifrost, to create travel between realms. It can capture, hold, and transfer the light of Alfheim. Place the Bifrost there.
A lot of the people that are making like negative comments about Joe Biden having cancer, you just look like an asshole. It's an 83-year-old man that clearly has cognitive decline, halfway in the grave already. You're like grave dancing. Like, what are you doing?
It is from this room and this room alone that you will be
also,
able
nobody's
to
making fun of cancer.
between
We're all on
realms.
cancer side here. Against Biden, no one's making fun of the
What
cancer.
you see
We're making
before
fun
you
of genocide
represents the
Joe.
temple in which
Realign
we
your
stand,
priorities, man.
as
The
well as
MSM
the
is
realm
already
towers that
laundering
encircle
reputation
the
of a
Lake
war
of
criminal
Nine
who
inside.
oversaw the genocide of
All the
Palestinians
realms
whose selfish
exist in the
nature
same
led Trump to
physical
win a second
space,
term. Joe
reflections of
Biden is
each
an
other.
awful monster.
These
Prostate
doors,
cancer doesn't change
the towers
that.
outside,
I mean, for
and the
people that are
9
so
realms
focused on
are all
optics, somehow
intertwined
end up
and
always looking like
coexisting on the
assholes.
branches
These
of
are
the
on the
world
tolerant
tree,
left. Yeah, it's like
separated
the
only
thing
by
is
the
he's going to be
Bifrost
dead,
light
so
of
it doesn't matter
Alfheim.
what he did, right? I mean,
This
that's it.
place can
That's it. It
focus
doesn't
and
matter.
control that
It's
light.
over. Literally, it's fucking
And is this the
over.
world
Yeah,
tree?
it's like,
Only
really,
an
did
artistic
Trump comment on it?
representation of
He
it.
did. I'll read what
No,
Trump said.
the
Melanie and I are
Yggdrasil
sad to
is
hear about
much,
Joe
much more
Biden's
than
recent
this.
medical diagnosis.
The
We extend
tree
our
of
warmest and
life
my
is
best
bound
wishes
to
to
the
Jill
fate
and
of
the
the
family,
world,
and we wish Joe a
just
fast
as
and
we are
successful
bound to
recovery. Let's see here. He ain't recovering.
tree
I don't know if he
nourishes
is or
our
not.
souls.
I'll watch this short
The
video
dew
about
from
this.
its leaves feeds our valleys and rivers. The tree's
annual
very
checkups
existence
and not
supports all
notice
of
a
creation
PSA
along its
elevation
boughs.
over the past,
It's life energy interwoven into the
this is
tapestry
what I
of life.
typically would see in a VA
Birth,
hospital,
growth,
where a patient
death,
hasn't had medical
and
attention
rebirth.
in 10 years,
Every strand
presents to
transcending
an
time,
emergency room
transcending
with
space.
bone pain, and then they
Everything
find
comes
that
back to
it's
the tree.
metastatic prostate cancer. But
So,
in the modern age of
that's how it
medicine,
works.
especially
But I'm guessing you were looking
the
for
fact
a
that he
more
was a former
practical
president,
answer.
Exactly.
he had
Very
intensive,
well.
state-of-the-art,
The bridge you pushed outside
care
is
where
currently
we
positioned
can
to lead to the realm of
see
Vanaheim.
prostate cancer,
Instead,
10 years
turn
in
the
the
wheel
past.
to our actual
So this is,
destination,
it's
Alfheim.
it's very unusual to hear that someone has prostate cancer where they're annually being followed up. And the fact
Well, the
that
odds are it's probably a lot more than annual
Yes.
if you're the
wheel turns the
president and you're
bridge,
over
and the
80
bridge
years old,
aligns to
right?
the different
I mean,
realm
what do you
towers
really
on the
think
lake
they're only doing it
outside.
once a year? Like, come on.
There's no
we
tower.
just find it at a
And that's
Gleason
why
9
realm
is
travel to
just
Jotunheim is impossible.
pretty much unheard of in
Without
this
a
day and
tower
age
for
of
the bridge to
medicine.
lock
Even
into, the
in
sequence
the
can't begin.
even in the inner city populations, we
I
wouldn't
see.
see
So
it.
you're saying
this bad.
even in a medically neglected population, it would be surprising to have a surprise diagnosis with a Gleason score of 9. So you're saying that certainly as
That's
he was
correct.
serving in the Oval Office, you believe that he knew
We're ready.
that he had
Remember
prostate
to take the
cancer,
Bifrost.
and even
You don't
potentially
want
as
to
he was
lose
running in 2020 before he assumed
Now the
office?
realm travel
Well,
bridge
most
will align.
likely
And the
he
realm
had prostate
between
cancer
realms
for a long
will
time, and aggressive prostate cancer such as this at age 80 grows over a long period of time. I mean, usually
that giant
Yeah,
it's
there's a lot of people like
Each realm
this
has
is
a
what my dad
corresponding
told
one
me
that
at least
focuses
is
and
that
amplifies
there's
the
guys
power
that
of
get
the
prostate
Bifrost,
cancer and the
opening
doctor's
the
like,
bridge to
you're
that
gonna
realm.
die from something
That's
else
why
anyway.
realm
Don't
travel
worry
is
about it.
only possible
takes
from
from the
this
first
room.
diagnosis
What
of
about that
prostate
one
cancer
realm travel
to spread
The Jotunheim Tower
would take
disappeared from all
5 to 10
realms over
years,
100 winters ago,
even in
when
the
the
most
giants
aggressive
vanished
form.
from Midgard. Where the
It's
tower
just,
went and
to
how
me,
they
it
moved
seems
it remain a
very
mystery.
surprising that the first diagnosis would be a metastatic diagnosis, especially Gleason 9 cancer, without having his PSA history. I mean, I would like him to get to release the PSA history right now to see
There's no going back
what it
into
was. I mean, I'm talking from an area of kind of not as much information as I would like to have.
And it
as
is
a
not
urologist.
it is not standard. We were looking for a PSA score to be released as part of these public
Who
president.
the fuck cares about this? They covered up dementia, which is 10 times worse. Well, I don't know. I mean, like, I guess, I mean, they're both bad. I mean, I think I think really the reason why people care is that it is more evidence that points in
Welcome
the
to
same
Alfheim,
direction,
gentlemen.
that it is very obvious
you can
that
spot
there was problems with this guy,
the light.
and the entire
can barely
media
see.
apparatus, as well as the
Something's wrong.
government, actively tried
See that
to
column of
pretend
light on the
like there
horizon?
wasn't.
It's housed in the
I
heart
think
of a ring
that's really
temple.
where the
We'll
conversation
find what we need
is.
there.
That's what's really going on here.
No.
So this is like, it's
yet.
not that this is the whole graph, but this is just another
To
point
restore the
on the
Bifrost
graph.
magic, you must step
And
into
the
the
line
light.
is still going in the exact same direction.
Mental health reports. We didn't get Trump's most recently either. I want to ask very quickly, so much has been made of his apparent cognitive decline. Is there a possibility that either the cancer itself or treatments he was undergoing in secret could affect cognitive function of a person?
Sure, it could have.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what happens is when prostate cancer becomes, like, say you get treated for prostate cancer and then the prostate cancer recurs, what you would do is you would start someone on a kind of a testosterone blocking hormone such as Lupron, and because Lupron acts to lower your testosterone, it gives you kind of like symptoms of depression, lower energy, fatigue. So there's a lot.
Touch nothing.
That's interesting. Very interesting.
Of things that go with being on Lupron treatment. So Lupron is a class of medicine that just castrates, chemically castrates someone so that the prostate cancer doesn't spread. And so Lupron was likely used in Joe
I understand.
Biden.
So to be very clear, you believe he was silently, secretly battling this for at least 5 years?
Well, I think that's yet to be seen. I mean, it would be very surprising, like I said earlier, for him to.
I don't know. Would the group of people that hid other medical realities also hide a medical reality? Ah, jeez, dude, I wonder. Ah, man, who knows?
Have prostate cancer at Lisa 9 spread
What
to
could it
bone
be?
without without being neglected medically. So the fact that he was